Guys, let me ask you something. What would you do if Facebook or Instagram just disappeared overnight? Now, not long ago, we watched headlines fly by about a potential TikTok ban. And whether you use it or not, I think it was a stark reminder that putting all your lead generation into one basket is a dangerous game. Now, the guys who are full time TikTokers, they must have been in a blind panic for a while until it all got ironed out. But it's a real warning about not diversifying your routes to market. Now, if your business relies on just one platform to bring in new clients, now whether that's Facebook or exhibitions, TikTok, Instagram, perhaps even word of mouth, I think you're taking a massive risk. Hey, listen, I'm Kenny Martin. I'm the studio doctor, and I'll help photography studios just like yours succeed and thrive. Look, let's break this down. Let's look at all the different routes that you could be using to get leads into your studio. Now, diversification is not just smart, it's absolutely essential. There are literally dozens of ways to get clients into your photographic studio. And what I've done here is I've put together a pretty powerful list of all the lead generation methods that you can tap into to keep your studio booked and profitable. Now, there's some that will bring you in a lot of work and there's some that will bring you in just dribs and drabs, but it all makes a difference. Let's look at, first of all, social media advertising, Facebook, Instagram, and yes, even TikTok while it's still here. Now, paid ads are still great. They're still the most quickest, shall we say, and the most cost-effective way to fill your diary. As I say, my mentor studios come in anywhere between 1% and 8% marketing cost on Facebook. Depending where they're located, of course, but that means that for every pound spent, they bring in £100, or for every £8 spent at the very worst return on investment, they bring in £100. That's absolutely phenomenal. But here's the thing, they should never be your only strategy. That is way, way too dangerous. Run lead generation competitions monthly. Like, we're giving away 20 sessions this month. There's a competition for this, a kids' competitions, whatever. Where people will win a session and a lovely desk portrait. It's brilliant for bringing customers in the door. And trust me, if you get your value chain right and the customer experience is amazing, they'll spend a lot of money. But let's look at a third-party Facebook or Insta competition. So why run ads on your page when you can get someone else to run it on their pages? Well, this is very clever and phenomenally successful. A couple of examples from recent times. As a dog studio that I work with ran a third-party advert just before Christmas time for absolutely free, cost them not a bean. And that brought in £35,428. And one of the most phenomenal third-party Facebook promotions we've ever done was with a pram shop. The competition started at the end of 2021. It brought in 34,500. In 22, it brought in 98,059 quid. Wow. In 2023, it was still bringing in money, 10,380 quid. And at the very tail end of the promotion, which was in 2024, it still managed another 2,080 quid. So in total, for a spend of absolutely zero, we brought in 145,019. Now, I don't know about you, but that ain't half bad. We've also got Google search ads. Now, people searching, of course, for family, baby, pet or graduation photographers, whatever it may be near them. These are high intent leads, so don't ignore them. Although in saying that, it's quite difficult to get a successful, good Google ads set up. Email lists, building and nurturing campaigns. So a strong, engaged email list is an asset that you own, because if something does happen and you've got a mail list, at least we can be mailing out offers to these people. lead magnets, vouchers and follow-up sequences to build the relationships and the sales. Here's a big one: exhibitions and local shows. Ideal home fairs, baby shows, shopping malls, garden centres. They're all incredible for face-to-face connections and immediate bookings, by the way. I prefer, however, still to run a competition, and it's even possible to get in for zero if you build up a relationship with a company. Now, I've managed a couple of times recently to get in free by putting together, if I may say so myself, quite a clever little joint proposal. And as an aside, I've got one studio who, on a turnover in 2023 of €234,130, did 180,125 on Facebook and 74,325 from exhibitions. In 2024, the Facebook income figure on the turnover of 407,520 dropped to 96,150, and the exhibitions rose to 220,750. This is what we call diversification. We all got so reliant on Facebook during COVID that we've almost forgotten that the other routes even exist. But they're still there, and they're a whole new group of different customers from the Facebook crowd. By the way, this year, up to the middle of May 2025, the studio is sitting on 172,000 turnover, and listen to this, only 7,000 is on Facebook and the rest is from other sources. That is incredible stuff. We've then got partnerships and joint ventures. Team up with people like baby boutiques, pram shops, dog groomers, dance schools, any local business who serves who you would class, I guess, as your ideal client. There's a very specific way to get into these places. Now, it has become much harder since GDPR, I've got to say, but it's still possible if you're smart with your proposal. But by the way, if you're not actively approaching these people, making calls, doorstepping, you'll get nowhere. It takes probably 10 or so pitches before you will get a bite, and most people have packed in long before this point. There's also the corporate gift. Link in with a local retailer, offer some fantastic prizes to the company to give away to their best clients. And this can work in many ways. It can be a boxed gift, a physical boxed gift. It can be a WhatsApp message. It can be an email with a link. It's another opportunity for using the QR code as well. For instance, the shop assistant can simply point the customer to the QR code and ask them to photograph it to claim their gift. The beauty of this is it totally eliminates the GDPR problem. We've then got influencer collaborations. So micro-influencers really are probably the best with local followings, because the massive ones are pretty useless to you. And they can drive pretty highly targeted traffic to your business. Great for competitions and giveaways. Now you need to know that they have a large local following, and again, a clever pitch is the way to get in with them. And be careful to pick the right ones. A lot of people think they're influencers, but well, really? Organic social media, of course, posting stories and reels and behind the scenes testimonials, results, that builds trust, of course, and it reminds people that you're active and you're awesome. It's never going to fill your studio, but any little helps. And it's a combination, I think, of several different routes to market that makes for a successful and profitable studio. Let's look at referral systems. Now, your past clients are gold, of course. You could set up a structured referral program that rewards them for bringing in family and friends. Now, I've got to say, we've never had massive success with referral programs, and I've tried, trust me, every way under the sun, but once again, a little makes a muckle. Now, that's a good Scottish term for a small amount eventually makes a lot. So we've then got sort of direct outreach, recontacting your past customers, sending birthday offers. Now, old clients can be absolutely incredible, but if you never contact them, they'll never contact you. We know this because every time that we run a Facebook or an Instagram ad or we go to an exhibition, the amount of people who fill in the questionnaire who are old clients is mind-blowing. It takes a promotion to get them to think about it again. And sometimes that little personal touch is all that it takes. Now trust me, another photographer will be running a promotion and these great customers that you think of, they'll go there, trust me. Gift vouchers, fundraising campaigns is another way they can be given to local schools, local charities, sports clubs, etc. as prizes. That gets you into new circles, of course. Now I'm going to talk about a big one now. This is charity balls. This is huge. Now there is a way to get into these balls and make a fortune. Unfortunately, most photographers, when asked to contribute to a ball, suggest they come in and shoot. That's absolutely pointless. That's not how you do it. Now, I cannot go into all the details here at the moment, but it's absolutely phenomenal. And I had one studio on the south coast of England who ran his entire business on charity balls at a very good average sale. And that was a way back in 2014, 2015. You got YouTube and video content. Really? Yeah. Educational, emotional, storytelling videos. That really shows to your customer your expertise and it builds deep trust. Now, it's a bit of an outlier, but if you can create some interesting and valuable content, people will see you as an expert in the field. You got blogging and SEO. It's a long game strategy, but it's valuable. Blog about your sessions, give tips, help people find you via Google. This one here, local press and PR, used to be great. Submit feel-good client stories or community involvement pieces to local media. It's great for credibility, but it's much harder these days to get anything published that really makes a difference. Shopfront. Now listen here, if you've got a shopfront, please don't ignore it. At least have a name board with some offer on it, some balloons at the door. Here's the big one. Keep the door open and welcome people in. Honest, it's as simple as that. Do not waste a valuable asset which you're paying a fortune for. How about you get your staff to stand outside on a Saturday and get the people to fill in their details in a competition or do the QR code in the window. Free vouchers. Now, sometimes we make life awfully difficult for ourselves. I call this a golden ticket. Always have vouchers to give away to strangers who you might just sit beside on a train, in a restaurant, wherever. Now if they're a lovely family, just introduce yourself. Get chatting. You never know where it might go. This is another one here that I came up with. It's an empty shop competition. So what you do is you find an empty shop in a local town or your town and offer to decorate the windows with portraits to make it look better. And then you run a QR code promotion from the shop window. Now, if it's possible to man it during busy times, that's great. And if there's a local town event, that's even better. How about this? Local restaurant, kids colouring menus. All you do is you supply your local child-friendly restaurant with its kiddies menus, full of quizzes and fun things for them to do, and then run a colouring competition. It's brilliant. Lazy leads. Now, what are lazy leads? Well, I call lazy leads Click, Emma's Diary, Barrett & Co, etc. Now, they're not my favourite, but listen, lots of people have made a lot of money out of these leads, so I'm not decrying them. It's just another way to bring a customer in through the door. And they can work out expensive, but you know, with Facebook costs getting a bit higher, it is another opportunity. Website voucher sales. A website inquiry form. Now, every studio should have this running all the time, just in case, but I'm going to give you a piece of good advice here. It's absolutely essential not to have a super discounted price on this page. If your offer price on a stand is 25 quid, please do not offer the same because it loses any of the special part about the offer. And also that counts for corporate gifts as well. School fundraising. Fundraising for schools has worked well in the past. All you do is you contact the PTA, find out what fundraising events are going on, sell vouchers, donate all the proceeds of the sales to the school, Now, we've in the past organised with the school that the kids get a bunch of vouchers and they sell them around the local area where they live. I'm not entirely sure of the legalities of that now, child labour, but we used to do it. And here's a simple one. It's a leaflet drop or handout. Do people actually know you exist? So drop a leaflet or a brochure in all the posh houses in the area with an offer. Why not? It might bring a few sessions. And if you're in a town centre, there is nothing to stop a staff member walking around the street handing out an offer leaflet. This is a big one. This is a staff gift. So what you do is you find a big company in your area, or perhaps the police or ambulance or fire brigade federation, and you offer to supply them with either physical or emailed vouchers for them to give to their staff as a Christmas gift. Now, it could be done at any time, of course, it doesn't have to be Christmas. Now, you don't get the info from the company, of course, due to GDPR, and you really just have to rely on the recipients registering the gift by either clicking a QR code or clicking on the link to go to the online forum. But in Edinburgh, we did a gift for 2,200 staff members of Standard Life's head office. And trust me, it was amazing. It kept us busy for 4 solid months, at our normal average, by the way, at the time. This is another bit of an outlier, but if you have a racecourse near you, why not look at a bit of sponsorship, particularly if you can get a sponsorship on Ladies' Day and especially Family Day. Just as an idea, you could perhaps sponsor the ice creams in return for a stand. You've also got your online vouchers, which is Groupon's vouchers and things like that. Now, they're not as popular as they once were, but they can still bring in some work. Listen, the point is this. You need multiple oars in the water. If TikTok goes, or Facebook's changed the rules again, or your ad account gets banned or restricted, your business cannot afford to stall if all your leads are coming from Facebook. So diversify your lead generation, build systems in your studio, and make sure that your photography business does not rely on just one route to market. It's so damn dangerous. Now, if this resonates with you and you would want help building a proper multi-channel strategy that works, give me a shout. Join my free Studio Doctor community as well, using the link below. We dive deep into all this kind of stuff and more. Now guys, thanks very much for watching it. I hope this video was really useful for you. Leave a comment below and please subscribe to the channel, and remember, don't put all your leads in one basket, please.